Here we go. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're back here for the last round of CB Rivals, and today I'm joined by a man who needs no introduction, former CBL champion with Surf Slayer and also second in the last CBL. Welcome, MaskFlamez.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sid.
Yeah, sure thing, you're welcome. We haven't seen your team this season. Of course, a lot of your players are still playing though on different teams, so I'm sure you've catched up to some of it. Today you'll be helping me to cover all the matches from the last round, and I hope you guys all know what the matches are about because it's going to be very hectic, most likely today. So we're just gonna quickly go over the matchups first, and then we'll talk more about the map and everything else. So first up we got Why So Serious against Endgegner, followed by Argonautes and Yeah Buddy, and then last game of today is Pondegard versus Odin's Legion. Now, Pondegard, Odin's Legion and Yeah Buddy could all still end up in second place. So the last two matches are going to be very exciting for that second place position. Then, Why So Serious, Argonautes and even Pondegard could technically still become 6th and demote to the Rustic Division next season. So also the first game is going to be very important depending on what if Why So Serious win or lose. That will decide if they even have a chance to stay in the Feudal Division. But the Argonautes are in most danger, sitting at 5 points and having to play Yeah Buddy. So that's basically what we're forced with today. So Mask, what do you think about the teams that you're seeing here? You've played most of them over the last seasons.
I would say the most team that is surprising this season. Actually, I wouldn't say it's surprising. Like since the last CBL we had, I've seen their match versus Audience Legion, and it was really good. I didn't expect it to be that great, and it turned out to be really good actually.
Mm-hmm.
And for this CB rival, they actually performed really well. Not a lot of people saw that coming, and it's really good to have teams coming up and showing that they can compete with the top teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We've seen
I
a lot of
hope
new teams.
I'm rooting for that. I really hope they stay in the feudal division.
Nice, I like it. Yeah, it's gonna be really good to have some of those new teams stay in for sure. We could see it with Odin's Legion, right? They've been really performing quite well since I think 2 seasons ago when they started to come in into the league unexpectedly in the first division, and now they're sitting at the top quite often. So definitely one of those teams that have been getting better. Argonautas also at the start of the season, right? They won a couple matches, even were like tied for first place, but then they unfortunately went on losing streaks, and now they're struggling a little bit. So we'll see. Um, I'm gonna go over some of the player stats as well because it's been so interesting to follow the player stats this season. So um, I'm sure you recognize some of the players that you've been playing with as well. So we got the Hero Kill Assassin Award, which will be awarded at the end of the season. Lazy Imperator from Yeah Buddy is leading it with 60 right now. Dan is only 6 behind though. So if Dan pops off insanely today and Lazy Imperator is not getting that many kills, then suddenly we could see a change there in the top 2. Top 3, Amia though sitting in 3rd place. You can see all players from No Beaches, so there's not gonna be a change in top 3 most likely, since No Beaches is not playing today. Then we got the Unit Kill Slayer Award. Zengas leading that one from No Beaches, but he's only 62 up on Ioku. Of course, Ioku not gonna play as well, so only Grease is going to play of the top 5, but you can see that gap is way too big for anyone to make up. So this one is going to those players for sure. Now assist, you can see who's going to be the champion here. Of course, no, we just played one more match, but Turbo Sub still could get in there if his team is feeding him 32 assists, which is possible. So we gotta watch Turbo Sub today, see if he can make it to the top 3 for most assists here. Def Award then, we got, if I update it at least, there we go. We got Endgegner sitting at the top, unfortunately, so we need to send some silver. You can see Chimera and Susno, by the way, sitting at the top of the standing. That's quite funny, being the team captain. Mask, did you die as many times as Chimera and Susno have as the team captain?
I mean, it's good that they show I mean, they're trying to lead their team like to suicide on maybe good units like
Mm-hmm.
Flames or something. So maybe they're the diver players actually in their team. Maybe that's why they have the highest deaths in their team,
Mm-hmm.
probably.
Yeah,
But for sure, for sure I would be leading my team, but I'm a medium armor player. I don't usually do that unless it's necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you play the pike most of the time, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I usually stick to like the medium armor classes,
Mm-hmm.
like most of them actually, like spear, pike, and
Yeah.
musket and all that shit.
Yeah, nice. I like it. That's really good stuff. Yeah, so then the MVP player award, which you might have been getting actually. Jubai sitting there at the top together with Senga with 4. Rinky is following him on Why So Serious. So you can see both Rinky, Sexy Kebab, and Striker Row could all still be getting that first place if they get a single MVP today. Because again, no Beach is not playing. Even all the guys sitting at 2 could still technically get it if they get 2 MVPs. But that's going to be quite tricky. Support points then. Update those ones as well. Yep, updated. There we go. So again, Baltasar, he's been getting it for 2 or 3 seasons, I think. He's a pretty insane player with the support points at least. So I'm expecting him to jump over No Name Onyx and to get that first place. But other than that, we're not very likely to see any changes. So keep an eye on Baltasar on the longsword during the second match of today. All right.
Did Diaboli face the apes before they disbanded, or like in an actual gameplay?
Oh yeah, no. I think they didn't. Let me check. But all the games that were played against apes are taken out of the database. So apes played Argonautas and Endgame in the first 2 matches, but their results are not in the stats right now.
Yeah, if the database is removed, then it should be fair. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So those should be good as they are right now. Yep. So we'll see. So we could see Engagner leading the most dev awards, and we could see Why So Serious having some players in like assist and support points. What do you think about these 2 teams playing against each other in the last round? Any thoughts?
I mean, for Yabadi and Argonos?
Oh, for Engagner and Why So Serious. First match that we see today.
I mean, isn't it? I think it was YC Series tied with No Beaches, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that was interesting to see. I don't know what went on. Haven't watched the full gameplay to be honest. But if they're the ones that tied with No Beaches, I would say YC Series should get the dub.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tie today as well.
Yeah. Well, the bands are going to be interesting as well, so we can check out the bands in a minute. They are in the... I'll send them... Oh, they're in the prediction channel on the Discord, so you can check them out there as well. But some spicy bands and picks, I think. So definitely expecting an explosive matchup. Let's go to the map then, Mask, and I'd like you to talk us through this, if you want to. So I'm going to show the map made by Valkyrie from Crystal. So you can just talk us through the map while I show it. Are you ready?
First of all, I think Hidden is one of the most interesting maps, I would say. I really like this map. We had some surprises, I would say, in this map as well. Back in like I think 3 seasons ago, maybe 2 seasons ago. It was against No Beaches. They had a really good ban. It got us like I would say confused in which way they will plan their gameplay. Like we had 2 things, like were they sally out with their cav or will they stay on the wall, and we had to gamble on one of the things actually. And this map it actually can be played in many ways. Like you can defend the wall, you can defend on the stairs, and you can defend full cav inside the city. It will all depend on the bans that went, I would say. And for the first match, I see that the Migmilionis, Forte, and Falcos and Cephus are banned. So technically, you could still defend the wall because you still have Focus and Imp Shields. It's one of the things that can use to defend the towers. Like if you hug the towers and you have these 2 units, there's nothing you could do about it unless you do some crazy stuff. And you can still bait, because I see that the 40s are banned and the new calves are saved, right? So
Yep.
it's basically a flashback of us playing versus No Beaches. It was like kind of the same situation,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
different meta. Yeah, I think we will see how it goes, but there could be a bait over here as well in today's match of Vice Series and Gagner.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ever since your match against No Beaches, I think 2 seasons ago, right, on Hidden City, when No Beaches did like the crazy defense on the wall, I definitely think about wall defense every single time on Hidden City, and especially with these bands, like you said, like so many specialists gone, but still you can play the javelins, you can play the Zicadi militia, and if you don't bring the Cav and the enemy does, the attacker does, then suddenly you could be in trouble after a few fights on A point. What makes defending the wall or attacking it? Let's put it. What makes attacking the wall tricky to do? What makes it hard?
I would say it all depends on the bans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, in the first match, Cocos are not banned, and Cocos is one of the most important units to use to defend the wall. Because the tower, if you have an imp shield, for example, and you're blocking the tower with the imp shield, and the attackers try to attack through the tower, the units become so stacked on the imp shield,
Mm-hmm.
and if Cocos throw in that moment, the units will get obliterated, and there is nothing they can do about it. If you have a longbow on top of the tower, this is another thing they can deal with. It's one of the the things that is not done actually as of the moment. Like
Mm-hmm.
some teams don't have longbow heroes on top of the tower.
Yeah.
Musket is good to have, but if the Cocos are playing from a quite good distance and they're sitting inside units, the musket won't have the damage to kill the Cocos.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely better to have a longbow, and this is why a lot of teams actually don't know how to deal with the situation,
Yep.
which makes the tower attack really hard,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yep.
And also, when it comes to Hidden City, you have the supply really close to you. So, especially if you're playing units like Claymores or Monks, you can macro the unit, and meanwhile, you can just jump to the supply and get another unit and go up on the wall and fight again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
While
Yeah.
attackers basically cannot do that because they need to get on the point
Mm-hmm.
and they need to deal with the attack. So it's really hard for the attackers to deal with that. Defenders can play more than 15 units in the same push, while attackers cannot do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then if it is being taken by the attackers, then I think we've seen very like many different defenses as well. You can of course there's only the gate and the walls, right? So you cannot really create a lot of flanks. So you need to come down the stairs most likely. We've seen sometimes seen teams go to the left all the way and try to go down there on the left supply, but I think again defending Hidden Cities feels easier sometimes because there's so many supplies nearby as the defender. And if you play your range right and you don't allow the Cav to come in through the gate, Hidden City can be, I think, a very good like defense on near the wall as well, right?
I would say the defense is more about the rotation, and you need good communication to do that. Like also, if you watch our defense versus No Beaches 2 seasons ago, it was also beautiful. Like the way that we rotated inside the map and how we matched the numbers as well at the same time.
Yep.
It was really good to have to see some good rotations, and this is one of the things that we usually like to do as Surf Slaves.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, rotating on this map especially, I think, is something that's gonna be key if teams want to get through for sure. Looking at the teams then, so from what I've seen from Endgegner, they've definitely been struggling with making rotations generally. On the other hand, Wise Series have been upsetting No Beaches, as you said before. So it's definitely something that I think favors Wise Series if it becomes a game of rotations. But then again, if Endgegner manages to keep grouping up and defend on the wall, maybe they could pull off some like coordinated fight. But I think it's gonna be very very dependent on how well Wise Series play, because they are the clear favorites, I think, and also if you check out the like the votes and stuff. So it's definitely gonna be cool to see. Couple players to keep an eye out by the way is Striker Rowe. He's been getting a lot of kills and a lot of cool plays for Wise Series, even with units like Longbow or Incendiary Archers. Of course, also we got Rinky. He's been getting MVP, former team captain from their side. And also Vatsal, because he's been dying so many times. Just gonna make sure we keep watching him. So lots of players to keep an eye out there. And on the other side, we got Sesper, who's been doing quite well, often on Endgegner. So, of course, also Endgegner definitely do have a couple players that are good enough to make an impression there. Also with players that we know from other seasons like XCOM, Chimera, Susno again. But a few new faces, I think, on Endgegner since they've been struggling a bit this season.
All right. Yeah, this is one of the things that is really hard to contain. I would say as a team captain is having the same players throughout every season. Because some players face some problems in real life and they have to deal with it, which makes it really hard to have the same players in the same tournament going on for multiple seasons, which makes the team a lot weaker throughout the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So what works aside from winning, of course, to keep a team together? What have you been doing to keep your slate together, for example?
I mean, for the players or having the same players throughout.
Yeah, like the team and the players. Yeah.
I would say having the same players throughout the season is one of the hardest thing, because it's if they are bored, you can try to make something, for example, to hype them up. This is one of the things you as a captain or as a community, for example, as a team, you need to do it as together. One guy as a captain cannot do it alone. The whole community need to do it together. The only thing I would say that's really hard to deal with is if they actually face things in life and they have to deal with it, then there is nothing really you can do about. Or if they lose, I would say passion. Yeah, if they lose passion for the game because it's becoming boring. And same the meta, for example, this season, I'm not really a fan of it. Monks being spammed everywhere. I haven't looked into the bans, if it was banned actually, but monks are definitely one of the units that have been killing the games for this season. The aim shield buff was really quite good, I would say, to make the monk less of a problem. But if you look with the new level up system they had introduced, for example, the last patch, they had 6% damage reduction. And if you look at the leveling up system, monks now can be level 24. They can actually get 4% more damage through the number 2 ability. So the game, I would say, have the thing when it comes to keeping players, I would say, because it's really hard to keep the players if the meta is just boring.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is one thing.
Yeah.
But also you can try to
make complaints, right? Yeah. It's definitely been a complaint. The new Kev and the monks are definitely extremely powerful. They've been there but it's been the same every season, right? That especially when new Kev comes in, it's extremely powerful. Even Modao a couple seasons ago, Shield Maidens didn't pop off that heavy, but Berserkers also, X-Raiders, so many new units just pop off instantly because they're so strong. But we're gonna find out if the new Kev and the monks are gonna have an